With all the 9070 hype that happened recently and me potentially getting a couple of samples of the 9060, 60XT, 70 and the 70XT for review, I thought, well, I need something a bit more modern to, you know, compare it against. So I saw a good deal on Carbonite for a GPU and I bought the card, and
users have been reporting hotspot temperatures of up to 110 degrees.
110 degrees, which is the red line.
Owners are reporting overheating.
110-degree hotspot with thermal throttling should not be normal.
There is like a possible design failure in the vapor chamber itself.
Unlucky for me, it unfortunately has a very common issue, not affecting all the cards, but some. And that is the 7900XTX, made by AMD model. This is Gigabyte's version of the NBA card. And unfortunately, I have the 110 degrees Celsius hotspot issue on this guy. It sucks. It just shoots up to 110 almost immediately. I watched a lot of reviews and read a lot of articles on it. De Bauer, he showed on his channel that if you mount it vertically, it drastically drops the hotspot temperature. You know, going from 110 down to 80 or like high 80s, which is way better than, you know, having the GPU temperature at like 70 and the hotspot at 110. That's a huge delta. I tried it. I reconfigured my case. I stripped apart a Cooler Master vertical mount version 3 that I have, and I mounted it in my case, and it made zero difference. Yay me. So even with the case open, full airflow, it's still 110 degrees. Fans ramp up, clock speeds drop. The wattage of the card is normally 347, around there for these NBA cards, and it drops all the way down to like 310 just to keep the card in check and under control. I don't know if it's a vapor chamber problem on here or if it's just a bad thermal paste application. So what I wanted to do today is strip it apart, and I've got this that I want to apply to the card, and fingers and everything else crossed that this maybe works. I don't know. We shall see. I hope you join me on this little adventure. Hopefully this is a good outcome at the end of it. Let's pull this apart and see if we can fix it. First thing we're going to do is remove all these backplate screws. Apparently this is one of the easier cards to take apart. I'm going to change this bit. 1 second, guys. By the way, this is the Xiaomi Ratchet screwdriver. This is the one that I had stolen from me, and I bought a new one because I like it. Maybe one day I'll be cool enough to get an LTT screwdriver. One day. All right, there she is. So I need to remove this bracket holding the cooler to the card, and then I believe it's these screws at the back here, these ones here. And then it just pops off. I could be completely wrong though, we shall see. You always want to do opposing sides so you don't put too much pressure on one side at a time. Wow, this thing is really tight. I don't think mounting pressure is the issue, but never know. I really do hope this is the issue and it's not a RMA return, or even worse, it's just what it is and I have to keep the card like this. I'm not sure what else I can do to mitigate this overheating issue. One over here, last one. I think that's it. All right. Let's see if she pops off now. Wow, that was easy. Super easy. There's the RGB and the fan cable I need to pull out over here. Okay, that's the fan cable, and this I believe is the RGB over here. Got it. Okay, I believe everything just pulls apart here. All right, so let's have a look at this. All right, it definitely has thermal paste in there, and it's not super hard, but it's also not, look how much space, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me just get in here and focus a bit. That is not great coverage of the die. I don't think anyway, I mean. Okay, so have a look there. See in this area here And here it doesn't seem to be well covered at all. Like most of the thermal paste seems to be on the side, and it is still pretty soft. I mean, it's not bad, but at the same time, not covering very well. So let's put some Phasesheet PTM on here and hold thumbs, guys. If you check the underside of the cooler here, this whole area here doesn't seem to have a lot of thermal paste on it at all. It's almost dry. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm gonna clean this up and flip, man. I'm starting to feel a bit more hopeful now that this can be. I mean, there's definitely a lot of thermal paste here, but it's been squeezed out the side so much that there's nothing left on the actual surface itself here. All right, cool. Feeling hopeful, guys. Hold thumbs and everything else. So I wonder if anyone else has been in here, because all the other videos I've seen of like these dies being exposed, it almost looks like there's almost a PTM that's used, not thermal grease like this. This is straight up thermal paste, you know? So, I don't know. Can you hear our friends outside? I don't know how much, this is really messy, wow. I'm gonna try to get as much out as I can. All right, here we go. I've got a couple of toothpicks here. I'm going to try and see if I can just lift this stuff out of here without breaking off any. Oh, there's a lot of thermal paste around the edge here, just tons. It just splooged all over the outside. And there was nothing left on the die. And lastly, what I'm going to do is come in with some isopropyl alcohol. That's soft, old soft bristle toothbrush. Check it, it's all coming out now. There we go. Loosening all that shit up. Oh, wow, look at that. Here we go, spotless boys. All right, guys, I think that's pretty clean. I think that's looking pretty sweet. Make sure it's nice and clean. All right, let's clean up the heatsink itself. That is just super, super gunked up. Have a look at that. Yeah, that's... And I don't really want the isopropyl alcohol to touch the VRAM thermal pads there because I don't want them to disintegrate. So you're as hopeful as me right now. Are you feeling like this could actually be a thing and this card could be saved? Boys, I think that's pretty clean. I think we're in business. I'm going to see how much I have left over from the previous application. Let's see what we have here. I don't think that's going to be big enough. That's where I cut. There's your PTM. I cut from measuring the die. Excuse my fingers, they're full of thermal paste. That's pretty much a perfect fit right there. Peel the one protective side off. Try not to touch the paste or the pad. Okay. And then we place it down over the die, exactly where we need it to go. Now let's place the card back into its home. Oh, I've got a good feeling about this. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. I'm going to be over the moon because that means this card can actually do what it's intended to do. And why is this one longer than the rest? So if you haven't watched my previous video and you don't know what this stuff is, it is called Phasesheet TPM. It is a phase change material, which basically means that at room temperature or anything below, I think it's like 45 degrees Celsius or something, it remains a solid, like a pad, a soft, gummy sort of pad. And as soon as it reaches a certain temperature, it turns into a liquid, which is excellent for thermal applications like this because it's a very good thermal conductor. So for this type of thing, it is excellent because once it warms up, it fills all the little nooks and crannies and peaks and valleys in between the die and the heatsink. Okay, next thing we're going to put our retention brackets back on. Now it's important that with this retention brackets, I'm going to apply equal pressure on each side, one at a time. Okay, so I'm just getting just enough to bite, and I'm going to go around each side, basically like one turn, opposite side, one turn, opposite side, one turn, and adjacent to that, one turn, and then back to number one again until they all stop turning. Just so it's equal pressure all the time. Otherwise your thermal paste will squish out unevenly. That is holding on tight. Now we can close up the back plates. So let's have a story time, guys. Tell me in the comments below what the first GPU you pulled apart was. My first GPU I pulled apart was also a gigabyte, a Radeon 4870X2. The cooling solution on was one of those blower style coolers, and it was just awful. That thing was so loud, it didn't cool it. There were these two huge copper heat sinks on it, and the one would get cooled well, but the second one would just overheat all the time. I bought an Accelero Extreme. I imported it from overseas, an Accelero Extreme for the 4870X2, and my God, the difference that cooler made. I actually still have that card. It's in a storage unit. I was thinking about maybe doing a revisit of that card in 2025 and see how it does. Let me know if you want to see that. I think it'll be quite fun. Now is the moment of truth. Is this thing gonna work better than before without overheating like mad? Okay, let's do it. So I'm leaving it in the vertical position here because that's just the way I've got it set up right now. I do realize that in this case it's right up against the glass, which is not ideal, but this is just for testing purposes. If it actually makes a difference, if she's actually going to perform well now, then I will make it horizontal again. All right, 3, 2, 1. Cool, she turns on, no magic smoke, that's always good. All the LGBT colors have activated, good stuff. I'm going to load up Cyberpunk because that stresses this GPU to the max. 110 degrees almost immediately. As you can see over here, hotspot's currently 34, GPU temp 31, intake temp 28, GPU mem temp 56. Okay, we're hitting 90, 89, 245 watts being pulled. This is capped at 60 hertz. 60 FPS with ray tracing on. Uh-oh. We have a crash, boys. We have a crash. Great. I have no idea what just went wrong. I have no idea what went wrong now. It just crashed the game. Completely hard locked. Alright, so I don't know what's going on over here. I'm gonna try restart it, see what happens. It just decided to completely just lock up. I've never had that issue before, so I hope I didn't break anything.
1 week later.
And we're back. And problem solved as well. This guy. The riser cable, I don't know. It just doesn't want to work with this system and this graphics card. I've tested it in another machine, it works fine. So it just doesn't want to work in the Threadripper build, which is fine. I put the card back in normally and it's working just fine now. So I'm going to show you the temperatures I'm getting. I actually really wish I had gone and recorded footage of the temperatures I was getting before doing this video, because at the time I was like, you know what, this is a common problem with this card, why bother? Just repaste it and I'm sure it's not going to make a difference because vapor chamber is the problem, which it probably is. There's much smarter people out there than me that have actually, proven that the vapor chamber is a problem on the reference 7900XTX. However, on my card, I'm not saying I fixed it. I'm not saying I fixed this problem, but I fixed it on this card. The temperatures are way better. All thanks to this stuff. I am falling in love with this stuff. I mean, I'm not sponsored. I've never been contacted by these people, but this stuff is so damn good. On 2 cards that I've tried it now, the 6950XT, which I've made a video about, which I'll somewhere there, and now the 7900XTX, which I honestly thought this is not going to fix it. This is never going to fix this problem. Like, this is a common problem with this card and I'm gonna just deal with it and have an overheating card when I do comparisons with other graphics card I could potentially get to review. And wow, I'm running Cyberpunk, which was like the game I was playing at the time when I got this card, which I saw the temps. As soon as you load into Night City, it's just 110 degrees. It goes from 60 GPU hotspot all the way to 110 within a matter of seconds. And now I'm hitting like 101, 102 max, which is still hot, yes, but this is with the case closed, whereas before it was with the case open, fresh air going straight to the card. Now it's a closed case with a cap of 2,400 RPM on the card, on the fans to cool it, so it's not super loud. That to me is phenomenal, and the card is boosting great and I'm getting great frame rates. Now this is Cyberpunk in a very difficult to render situation. It is raining in the city, so everything is reflective, ray tracing enabled and on ultra at 1440p with FSR 3.1, rendering at quality mode, and I'm hitting 60 FPS and it's just, look at the temperatures. I am beyond pleased. You've got a 7900 XTX out there that you are having issues with, where it's overheating and you maybe missed your window to, you know, RMA it. Consider doing this. I don't know if it's this stuff that fixed it, or maybe the mounting pressure that when I reapplied it made better contact. I don't know. What I do know is that what I did worked, and this card is now running great. I am so pleased with it. I was considering, you know, like I thought I maybe made a mistake buying this card. I definitely wanted the reference model. I think I love the reference model. I wanted it, but the 110-degree hotspot issue was going to be a big problem for me if I get other graphics cards to review and I don't have a 7900 XTX that is functioning properly. So would I recommend this stuff? Absolutely. I want to put this on everything that I do from now on. Yes, it's more expensive than thermal paste, but the results speak for themselves. Honestly, this is such good stuff, really. Do it. So if you've got a 7900 XTX with the same sort of issue as this is having, or any GPU really, that's having issues like overheating and stuff, you know, maybe try this solution. I hope it helps you. This was a problematic card, you know, in the industry to start with, so I'm so happy about it being sorted now. And I'm a big fan of sharing knowledge, and I'll be doing a lot more of that in the future too. Hope you guys are all good. Stay cool, stay lekker, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye.